This is a Waterboro Budget Committee meeting. We gotta start at 18:30. I don't know why I said 0 before that, but it's 18:30. First thing we have to do is discuss and approve the minutes for January 12th.
I don't think there was anything in here.
Does everything look all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll need a motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept.
A second.
I'll second it. All in favor?
All in favor.
Perfect.
Is that for both or just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Now we'll do January 19th. We'd had the meeting with the fire department. Does everything look all right?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I will second that.
Seconded. All in favor?
All in favor.
All right. Now on to tonight's stuff. Tonight we have Nancy Johnson for general assistance. Nancy.
And that would be on page
17.
17 in your new packet, or your old packet too. What I've asked everybody to do tonight is we've gone over these budgets in a cursory fashion just with me. I've asked them to, in their own words, describe what they do, why, and how. And Nancy can do that better in terms of the details of GA. And certainly Todd and Lisa with rec, and David. We're actually going to have a little field trip with David. We're going to take you into his other office to show you that equipment, and maybe over in the corner here. So a little more detail from the staff here from me that you've got in the past. So other than that, I'll probably not talk, and Nancy can just walk you down her budget for GA.
All right. Let's see, we'll start with heat. The rest is all basic. Last year, we had 13. We had a lot of donations, so I've reduced that to 10. I didn't think we needed that much because we didn't use that much. So that's the reason that's dropped down.
What is that for, Nancy?
Heat,
Right, but what is that for? What does that buy?
oil, propane, wood pellets, wood, for those that qualify through an application process.
Okay.
Any basic form of heat. The next item is food. I dropped that down. Last year we had 2,500, but so many people get food stamps and whatnot nowadays that we haven't really sent out many vouchers for food. So I figured we could drop that down to 15. Let's see, propane. And the only time propane is different, the only reason I put that down to 500 is for like a cook stove. Sometimes it's just for cooking, and so it wouldn't fall under the heat category. So
Yep.
that's why that's in there as a separate. And then rent, that's still high. That's our biggest request is for rental assistance. And just what I think it's going to drop a little bit. We got a few new people that jump on board and need help with rent on a regular basis.
Does that cover mortgages too?
No, that is just rent.
Just rent.
If we do mortgages, which we really tried not to, we would have to put a lien on their property,
Oh.
and we try to stay away from that as much as possible. So yeah, just rent. Medicine, I don't get much of a request for medication once in a great while, but I do get the main care prices, so there's really not a huge demand for that, so that's why it's only 2 instead of 5. Cremation, I did up that by $70 because it is $785 per cremation, so that would cover 2. And some years you get none, and some years you'll get 2, 3, 4. So It's kind of hard to determine on that one. Electric. I don't get a huge request for that now, because when they apply for fuel assistance through LIHEAP, there's also, it's called the ELP program, which is part of that same application where they get help with electricity as well. And so we don't send too much of that out. Gas, the $50, that's an extreme emergency situation. That's for like gas to their car. We don't normally give that, but if I know someone's got a job interview and doesn't have the gas to get there, I'm gonna put $20 in their car to get them there. Other than that, that's about it. Well, actually, I see you have the Christmas. We do get donations to help with Christmas and Thanksgiving, things like that. But that's all strictly in, out. That's all donations. No town money whatsoever is included in that.
So with the food pantry open, do you think that it's going to have an impact on the food?
No, because right now I'm sending them over to the Brothers in Alfred Fish Food Pantry, so they're still using that one.
Oh,
It's just going to be easier for them to get to now.
right.
And they can only go once a month. And it's only going to be 7 days. They're going to give them enough for 21 meals, 7 days supply. And they can only go once a month with that, so it's going to vary.
All right.
You just never know what you're going to get hit with in GA.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other
I don't
questions?
think I have any questions now.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move over to Parks and Rec, which starts on the bottom of page 8, but really the meat and potatoes starts on the top of page 9. And I would like to publicly announce to the whole committee here that Mike DeAngelis has resigned. It was a very amicable parting today. Pleased with that, and he's going to go on and do other things. So I can make that a formal announcement today. That just happened this afternoon. But Lisa and Todd have really stepped up to the plate in helping me and helping the town in continue to run Funergy, which is our after-school care, and other programs, and help get some other good staff to run the basketball program. Bill Cookson, and it's mostly Bill, but probably a good charge of his wife as well, helped out for basketball. And without that, we would have really been strapped. So they've been invaluable in doing yeoman's work, and certainly over and above the normal. And I very much appreciate that. Appreciate you coming here tonight as well. And I didn't ask them to do a sermon. We've gone through this budget in a very basic sense before, but I would ask each of them to add what they want to, starting on line 222 at the top of page 9 for how they do what they do, and answer any of your questions.
Beginning with line 222, we believe that that's an appropriate amount to handle the salaries that fall into there. Same with program payroll, would remain the same as last year. Travel, we actually bumped up just a little bit because that's the extensive mileage that we use, and with gas prices going up a little bit, that has been bumped. Training and uniforms, we actually recommended a little lower than Gary, only because that really is just some staff camp shirts, some boots and things for Mike Christie, who is out there, and we feel that $750 can cover that.
And I put the word uniform in there. That's from me, not them. I think we can have a conversation about buying some decent-looking shirts for in-house staff here, something more than a T-shirt. And we might do that for Public Works as well. So that's the reason there's a extra $750 in there under my column. This was my idea, not theirs.
Okay.
Lisa and Todd, would you mind backing up to line 223 in program payroll and just a little more detail in terms of what that is, please?
Program payroll covers all of our staff for our programs, with the exception of the director, the boat launch person, and Mike Christie, who's our field maintenance guy. So that includes all our summer camp staff. It includes the staff we hire for any type of program, as well as Funergy, basketball, for example, when we had to hire Bill Cookson to fill in on that. That's any program that we run and utilize staff for, that's where that comes out of. So, to keep it the same as last year.
And what is Funergy?
Funergy is a before and after care program that I actually came up with. I don't know if you want the long version, but it was about 8 years ago. I realized I was teaching gymnastics here and teaching 1-hour classes. And it turned out that these kids really wanted to talk to me and play and do more than just their class. And it was right when the economy had crashed horribly. Parents were getting divorced. They were going home to parents fighting. And so I started a one-day after-school program. And I asked Todd to do it with me. The idea was to have both a male and female there so they could see people interacting well and getting along. They would come in, get a healthy snack. We would actually, at that point it was smaller, we just had 12 children. We would have them sit around and tell the best part about their day. So that's why the name Funergy. It was all about fun energy and giving them a place to not be controlled. They're coming out of school and school was sit in the desk, do this, do this. Instead it was, what do you want to play today? You want to play Duck Duck Goose? You want to play Tag? All right, we're going to make a list. We're going to do all what you want to do. And it became so popular that we decided to go ahead and open it up as a full-time before and after care program. So basically we provide care whenever school is closed, with the exception of 1 week, which is always the last week of the summer, which we would like to give the staff off. Other than that, the majority of the holidays, not Christmas and New Year's Day, but your Columbus days, your days like that, any time that a parent would have to pay for care, we are available, and we give it at a flat rate of $80 a week. So when they're off for their February vacation or their April vacation, they're only paying $80, which is very reasonable. And yet, we are still profitable in that department. And it's a wonderful program.
We have a huge waiting list.
Yes,
As soon as somebody leaves our program, graduates it, we take up to the 6th grade, we have somebody to fill that slot right after one phone call and it's filled again.
Todd, what are the hours?
In the morning, it's 6 to 8:30 when they get picked up. And in the afternoon, middle school gets there at 2 o'clock, and the elementary school gets there about 3 when we go to 6 o'clock.
So
on
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Right, on vacation weeks, we're there from 6 to 6. So they get the full, all day with us.
What are the maximum numbers that we take?
It used to be 30, and one of the reasons our expenses have gone up this year was because we had so many people who were in desperate situations. The Y Care, which is usually where we would send people when we had a waiting list, was full as well. So this year you will see we bumped up our expenses greatly because we also increased the revenue. We now have 5 more children. Those 5 children each pay us, if they come to summer camp as well, $4,230 a year. So that's $20,000 additional we were able to pull in just by filling these additional slots. If we ever got to the point of having a community building, other departments, for example, Buxton has 60 in theirs. I have no doubt we would have 60 children in our program.
We have a few extra kids because of the time and need. These are our taxpayers, these are our people. And we took a few extra because there's certain circumstances that they really needed us.
The one most recent one was actually a grandchild of an ex-selectman here. His mother had died in her sleep in November. And they had, they had no place for him. And they're sending us letters saying, that we're a godsend, basically. So it's a very rewarding program for us.
Todd, how many other people work with you staffing that?
There's like 4 or 5 at different times. Every day there's 3 on each shift. There's total about 5 of us that switch off to do the different days.
So it's not a big staff to do all.
There's only so many hours, and the normal day is really only 6 hours, so you want to make sure everybody gets enough hours to actually keep them at the job.
Right.
Except on a vacation week when it's a 12-hour day.
Right, and then everybody wants. And then you have people coming back that work at our camps that are looking for extra hours, and it's difficult, but you try to juggle it the best you can and make everybody happy.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I think the budget committee needs to have that level of detail so they can understand what we do and how we do it, so. Where'd we leave off, Lisa? Dues and subscriptions?
Yep, dues and
Line
subscriptions.
230?
That one went up a little bit, only because always we've gone over in that. Our basic 2 memberships that we have for our associations, which is the Maine Rec and Park Association and the National Park and Recreation, are in there, as well as our Prime, our Amazon Prime membership. So it's just always gone into a negative, so I was like, well, if this is what it actually is, let's just make it what it actually is. Next one, gas, diesel, that is strictly for our equipment. All other gas expenses are filed in the way of mileage and fall under the travel category. So this amount, we actually brought it down because we no longer were paying the buses out of program expense. So all that gasoline is just for all our mowers, power tools, things like that that require gas. Electricity, we had switched carriers and it dropped tremendously, so we have lowered that down by $1,500. Telephone, I do see a possibility because Mike Christie did request our grounds guy. I'm assuming now that was, would be to the director. It should actually, Todd should be getting one of those as well, only because he is on the phone from 5 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night sometimes with parents of Punergy students and things like that. So I would actually like to bump that. We didn't get a chance to talk about that.
There's no set hours. We take calls Saturday, Sunday. I'll get calls Sunday during the football games, what's for lunch tomorrow, camp and stuff like that. So the phone rings, you answer it.
The vehicle, I don't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, if we buy this secondhand pickup truck, that will be fought over between the custodian here and the Parks and Rec department all summer long. But if we do decide to buy that truck, I think we need to come back to this line and put a little something in here for an oil change and other such things, since it might be a secondhand vehicle, but for now I left it at 0. Mowing is for blades and other such things that we would buy for the mowers we use to mow the grass around. Next line, 242, there is another $5,000 to $6,000 in there for water supply at Lions Field, the same reason as last year. And so you need to know that. We did take that out. Last year the Budget Committee did recommend taking that out for the reductions that we needed to make. We do need to get those ugly loam piles down at Friendship Park
And David's
flattened
going to take care of that.
and,
Dave Benton is going to do
planted.
that for us.
This is the last season those are going to stay the mounds that they are now. We are going to need to take care of that. And you guys can jump in as well, but I'll just keep going. I mean, we talked about the bus, and Lisa and or Todd had the idea, maybe we don't have the money to buy that nice 14-passenger bus that any of us could drive with a Class 3 license, but they're talking about trying to get together with our neighbors all around us and fill a nice bus to go to.
Oxford Casino.
Yeah, and all the senior trips they used to go to Castle in the Clouds, things like that.
See a play in Portland.
Yeah, we used to go down to
Just a
Portland
lunch,
stage.
seniors used to take them for lunch in Portland, or a movie, just to get them out and doing things.
Right.
They really appreciate it.
And Todd and I have started to go to the Maine Recreation and Park Association meetings. They do a meeting once a month on a Tuesday morning. And so we've been networking with the other departments, and they are certainly willing. Buxton, Hollis, yes, let's put a trip together. So we've got actually price quotes coming in from Custom Coach and Charter, who we met at one of those meetings and are kind of working cooperation and put together some great trips.
Nice.
Excellent idea.
Yes.
On the very bottom of page 9, under ticket sales, remember we took out ski area sales because we just weren't selling any of those, so this is pretty much Fun Town here. You can see it came down by a little over 50% from the 5,000 we had in last year over there in the column F. And again, that's a 1-to-1 replacement on the revenue side. We wouldn't be raising that money from the taxpayer to the bottom line. Then the big increase here, and I'm going to need Todd and Lisa to jump in as to why. We had $30,500 in this year's budget for program expenses. And I know for a fact, since we ran into this, the year before, that's about $5,000 less than it should be. Mike and I whacked it down before just to try and, make the budget smaller, if you will, and it just didn't work with what we're doing for camp fees. Our revenues are up significantly, and we think that's a very strong indication of what the summer's going to be like and the next year's going to be like. So that's a bit nebulous, but we know we need at least 5 in this to 35. And I'd ask for both Todd and Lisa to chime in now for their thoughts on why. And we think we want to put an additional 10 in there.
In our current budget, we are down to less than $1,000, or about $1,000, I want to say. And we have a tournament that we put on. All these things are matched with revenues. So not a dollar, the extra 10,000 isn't coming in. For example, obviously because we've taken these additional 5 children at the revenue of $4,000 more each, that's 20,000 more we're bringing in right there. Camp will be higher. So it's all in a direct relation and still in a profitable relation with the cost going up. We were able to, for this year, because we're going to be so short, we have so much in the extra revenue that we're going to try to figure out how to make that work, because we certainly don't want to cancel. It would be our 12th annual tournament. We're very excited about it. Teams are already signing up, things like that. So, and the Funergy budget, obviously the food budget has gone up with additional children, and we'd like to be feeding them better. I am going to apply for a grant. They do have a $25,000 to $35,000 grant if we adhere to healthy eating program and provide the correct foods. I just got an announcement about that today, so they are going to be putting out the applications shortly, and that's through the National Parks and Rec Association. They're also the association that awarded me a $4,000 grant to start a walking program for our seniors, which was supposed to be a 6-week program done 3 times. The people liked it so much, we're doing it year-round. We're off right now with the super cold, but we did it all the way up till almost Christmas, and it'll start again next month.
And how many folks did you have coming on a regular basis?
Our biggest class ever was just 15. So usually it's, it depends. It's meets 3 times a week, so it's hard for people to always make it. But in general, there's 6 or 7 there each time, and they really enjoy the socialization. Some have gone off, been able to see their doctors, go off of their blood pressure medications, lower their blood sugar levels. I mean, it's really just done fantastic things for them, not to mention that they love that socialization. Like I said, they've become very good friends.
It's just for seniors?
No, actually, it's for anyone who has pain. It's designed by the Arthritis Foundation and backed up by the Center for Disease Control. It's what they call proven, evidence-based for pain management. So if somebody had any type of pain, back issues, things like that, but can stand on their feet for 10 minutes, then they qualify. Everything is provided to them for free. The grant allowed me to train 4 instructors and get them certified. We also had them, we were all first aid and CPR certified as well. With the grant money, which I still have $1,800 left, and that's going to be spread out to other communities as well in the area, because otherwise we already have everything that we need. So I'm reaching out to the other parks and recs and saying, hey, I've got this money, I'll go ahead and purchase you some books and pedometers. So each person gets the class for free, year-round, a guidebook that teaches them step-by-step how to do everything, as well as a little pedometer. So it's really nice.
The classes are held during the day, so you basically get seniors and people that, don't work during the day. So that's why it's more of a senior program.
Right.
And toilets remained the same, and incidentals is just for emergencies. Questions?
I don't think I have any questions.
Well, in that case,
That's,
thank you.
I have a comment
okay.
Yes, Dave?
for you guys. Funergy, just so you know, I'll take credit for capitalizing fun.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw that, it said Funergy, and I said, what the heck is Funergy? That sounds kind of bad.
He did, that's true, and I changed it, and I actually used that name since I had developed the program. I run the program on Saturdays in Cornish twice a month. I do it from 1 to 7 to give parents a chance to get out and have a date day type of thing, and I provide them 3 different fruits, 3 different veggies. Because I'm not limited by a budget, I can control it. I feed my kids really well. And that's why I want to apply for this grant, because I'd love to see these kids eating that way. You know, he's limited by,
Our kids
he
get
does the
some
shopping.
vegetables every day too.
you know, 1 slice of cucumber. But he's been limited by the program expense
Yeah,
budget, so he
totally.
couldn't buy
Right.
better
Right.
food. So I completely understand where he was, because he does the shopping for it. But he also comes and helps me at mine sometimes and is appalled at how much I spend on fruits and veggies.
Right.
It's expensive.
I had a question about the walking program. Was that just a 1 day a week?
3 days a week.
It was 3 days a
Yep,
week?
yep. We do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1 to 2. And we designed it that way because the senior luncheons were from 12 to 1 on Wednesday, so it was nice people could go have the senior luncheon and then get together and do the walking group.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
Couldn't have done it without you. I didn't get the IT department to come out and sit in the comfy seats here. I don't know, have you ever been out front of the,
I try not to.
You want us to do that?
Yeah, he's
Brian?
appeared before.
You guys have it on all the time.
you know, what, since you're open, go back in there. Let's, everybody get up and go over there, and Dave can give you a quick tour of that, and then we'll walk you into his office. But there's no room for anything. Tell us what this stuff is for, Dave.
This is the cockpit. This is basically everything here is used to produce a cable broadcast. We got 3 cameras around the room, so we can do, you know, set up shots, have a main shot, set up another shot. In this case, I had a picture-in-picture going on, which is done with this machine here. It's a video switcher. That allowed me to have you guys in the back, and then Lisa and Todd down here. We flip this switch, we go live to the cable station. This is a general monitor of what people are seeing in TV land. If I flip the switch, you'll see this thing actually send back the signal that we have here. And I'll shut that off quick because it also sends audio. We've got 2 computer systems right here. One is for recording, one is for the video processing. This is just something I'm working on so I can multitask while we're doing video recordings here. Audio mixer here controlled. We have all the mics on the table, mics up there, the podium, wireless mic here, and a titler which adds your titles to here and credits to run at the end and whatnot. So, and again, this is the remote control for all the cameras. We can select whichever camera we like. Move it around, zoom in on your zits, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I don't do that. So this is one office of a few. Have another at the fire department. The fire department is a mobile booth that I set up that has kind of a miniaturized version of all it is. Some cheaper cameras, some cheaper equipment, but it does the job, allows us to broadcast from the fire station. And again, remote control everything from one spot. And we also have a network rack upstairs. The fire department is all networked to a server. 2 wireless access points over there. One is a secured one, and then the other is open for all firefighters to just do whatever they want to do while they're there. Same thing in the library. That one we have a network room actually that was just expanded downstairs. I was previously working in a bathroom with a table in it with the network equipment all kind of stacked up, so that's all fixed now. And then my biggest mess is over here. I guess we'll go take a look at that. So if you're ever feeling pushing buttons, this is the place.
Are we on TV?
live with us?
We could potentially. And we're looking at actually streaming from the studio though. The studio, since they get our signal anyway, you know, they have a purer signal because it's fiber optic all the way up there.
Security cameras.
I
My wife and I just
well, we
installed
used
some
it.
out in my barn
They talk to
the
you
other
very
day
well,
because
but,
we're expecting a couple of our goats
I don't
to
know about
have more
community.
babies. So
We don't get those complaints,
So we
so
wanna- we
I'm
have to
sure
watch
Rich
them.
deals with it.
So we can access it from our cell phones, anywhere we are. We can see if how the goats are
I
doing.
was just saying, they just got
The
Rich an
chickens.
assistant. so-
They do.
Look at them on your phone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty slick.
Yep.
It's like, nice.
Yep. It's helped me a few times to be able
Yeah.
to, you know, the alarm goes off and I'm like, is there something actually going on at 2 a.m.? You know, I got to run down here. So I'm able to kind of remote in quick and see if there's anything I can spot, you know, right off the bat before I get down here. So.
So we're on page 5 for IT, middle of the page. I think that the tour we just got probably does a pretty good job of talking about the budget itself, but David, do you have anything you want to add to sections of the
Really,
budget?
I think this is pretty much a mirror of last year. I think I've got it dialed in pretty well. I'm cycling out equipment a little at a time each year. We've got ongoing repairs and replacements that we don't expect. And the software I think has gone up a little bit because Trio went up some. But not too much. And then we've got the GIS rolled into the software line now, the contractual services. 5605, line 128. Yeah, GIS maintenance 3 grand, that's added in. Trio's gone up a bit. Time Warner is creeping up, but Spectrum is supposed to be possibly cutting some slack, so we'll see how that works out. Hopefully that will happen.
Who is
Cutting
Spectrum?
out all middle management.
Time Warner.
Yeah. we're taking-
Spectrum is the new Time Warner. Charter Communications merged with Time Warner. They call it Spectrum now. And they said they're going to shake things up. And we're just not sure what that means.
Usually it means raising our prices.
I know, right? That would shake me up. But everything's pretty much the same, so I'm not sure. That's about it.
I don't think I have any questions. You guys?
And I left you a little summary, kind of off the top of my head, of some of the IT stuff that goes on.
That's a good bit of detail you put together that really lets you know what he does. That's more of a reference document, but take it home and
Can I get a copy of that, Dave?
Oh, sure.
The
Is there another one, Gary?
right here.
I'm gonna send one down to Julie.
Oh, yep, there are extras here.
the new website that we're getting, is
Yes.
that included in this?
It is, yeah. We've I've talked with Gary about utilizing the non-tax line there, the cable line, which is the next page, page 6, line 131, 60, unclassified cable repair. The franchise monies were supposed to be cable TV and communications ultimately. And I mean, we still roll some here and there and everywhere, but that we've discussed about just having it come out of there since it falls under communications pretty well. And the line that covers hosting is going to cover the yearly maintenance fee. So we're not going to have any change on that.
Okay.
And then once it's paid in 3 years, there actually won't be any more cost other than the yearly maintenance. So that's going to just stay nice and steady. So yeah, I think we're in good shape.
Tell me, do you think there's how we could advertise for the town to get the word out of that we broadcast our meetings, that people can go online to look at meetings? Because even talking amongst us, there are people that don't even realize that all of these are in archives
Yeah.
and the things that they could do.
And archives are continuing to work on those too. I've got VHS tapes that I'm converting to DVD and digital, so we can archive the DVDs in the vault and then put the digital online. So we'll have another kind of a video archive section. It'll be all old stuff. I mean, going back, 10 years or so, whatever I've got. Before that, it was all audio cassettes. And I have another unit that converts audio to digital, so we may at some point have kind of like a podcast site too, where you can listen to old public hearings and old selectmen and planning board and zoning board and all that stuff. But it will be audio only, so if that thrills somebody, But it's kind of cool. It's history. It's the town's history. I think we need to preserve whatever we got, before it's gone.
I did tonight, before the meeting. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, yeah. But yeah, to your question, getting the word out. Gosh, it kind of amazes me how that still happens, because we've been online. I mean, when I started here in '96, I started ramping it up, and it's been now almost 10 years, and we've been pushing it and putting more stuff out there and giving people more reasons to go there. We used to have, realtors and everything else coming in here all the time, and now they just go on the site, they pull up the tax commitment, the property cards. We don't even see them anymore, hardly ever. So we've cut down the traffic, but you would think all those things would attract people in, and for whatever reason, we can still get the message out. And I don't know if we need to put it on the tax bills, an insert, or put an ad in the paper regularly, periodically. Maybe that's a good thing that could fall under that 60 cable piece too, is some advertising.
You forgot to bring up the fact that we haven't funded the electronic sign.
That thing. Oh my gosh. I've been trying to get that for years.
Which is a great idea, but we fought that battle as a group last year in terms of priorities. And it's, the better part of $15,000 for the sign itself, never mind the other nice looking pieces of a sign you might have around it. But
That's right.
at some point in time, I think we need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap, but the beauty of that is you can remote it. Now they're cellular, so you can sit on your phone and update it. Meeting canceled, or this is going on, or whatever. So they really come a long way, and it would be awesome. But then we go, okay, where do we put it? It should be outside the town hall, I think, but then the visibility is down there at the intersection. So that's been brought up, and it, so the visibility part gets tossed around, and the whole thing just goes out the window.
And I think the visibility part, I think you're going to have a hard time convincing people that work with that monument site to put something like that there.
Yeah.
And not only that, I don't know if people we talked about this, people who come to that intersection are not looking around at signs. They're looking at the light, and they're looking to take a turn. The person coming the other way taking a left, taking a right. So they don't tend to think of, maybe if it was there, they might, think about looking there. But the point is, how often would you actually get to see it?
Yeah, it crossed my mind today when I was coming back from the fire station over to here, and I got to that light, and I was thinking if there was a sign there, this would be really bad, because I'm going to be sitting here looking at the sign, the light turns green, the guy behind me's pissed off. This is not going to be good.
Fine, we'll put it out in front of town hall.
I don't know about the, that's the logical place to start, I think, and probably cheaper too, because we already have the posts. And we got that beautiful sign out there that could go over to the transfer station, because they need a better one. So we're not going to throw it away. So.
And your Parks and Recs has already got donations towards the sign.
Yeah, what did they take in? $1,500?
This year so far?
Is that right?
Yeah, and they've got money on it from last year too.
I had $5,000 as a starter years back when Nancy Brandt was still here, and then it was supposed to get carried over until
I didn't have any knowledge of that.
No, it disappeared the next year. It was supposed to be carried over. So we were halfway
Because it was
there.
never voted on to carry it forward.
Yeah, well, that's what
At least
happened.
it hasn't been in the 11 years I've been here.
They voted to put it in, and then I think they just forgot about carrying it over, so
55.
we would have been there already. Use the Shapley method, right? Isn't that what they said? Shapley saves the money and pays everything cash.
Facebook, the meeting was happening today. So,
They've got $1,000 this year, and they had money from it last year too.
nice.
So what do you see as a good method of communicating to get the the word on the website out?
Facebook.
I know everybody has Facebook.
Yep.
And whoever has Facebook, because we're on Facebook, and whoever reads that knows we have a website, because I'm constantly linking them to the website from there.
Right.
So maybe eventually that's the thing that will make it happen, is just over time, people going to Facebook and then finding the town hall and then seeing there's a link to the website for more information, and, you know, it may just be a slow burn like that, you know.
You can advertise on Facebook, and you can do just Waterboro. You can advertise by zip code. So anybody that is registered on Facebook and they live in Waterboro, the ad will pop up. Hey, check out the new website for the town hall.
Yeah. I'll have to look at the cost of that. I mean, it's probably not terrible.
It's pay per click, so you can set your own budget.
Okay.
I know I did a lot of Facebook advertising.
That's probably a good place to start.
So in the Facebook account, it recognizes the zip code, and that's what it uses?
Well, when he sets up the ad, you can it'll say, who do you want to attract, and it'll say 18 to 55-year-old, male or female or both, and then it breaks it down like
Demographics all the way through. Huh?
demographics all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could if you wanted to just do anybody registered Republican, or anybody that says they're Republican on Facebook. So if they say that they're conservative, because there's a little place on Facebook where you say, what's your
Political view, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, some people say, oh, I'm Republican. Some people say I'm Democrat. Anybody that has Republican or Democrat, you can say, well, advertise just to them.
Yep. So you can really break it down.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll look at that. That's a cool idea.
That's why I have a lot less markers on mine.
Yeah.
Because the other thing we were talking about is how to get people to realize that they can pay electronically, that they can do rapid renewal, they can pay their taxes. They seem to, I mean, it's been doing that for years, and people do it, but other people, they don't think, or they don't either think about it, or...
But don't you think some of that's a generational thing, though? Especially on cars. I mean, I registered a car, first time I registered a car, I was sick that I'd been coming into town hall to do that. It was so simple.
Right.
I'll never go in to do that again in town hall. It's completely unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's the next generations, maybe your kids, that won't even give a second thought about coming in here to do that. They'll pick up their phone and use a credit card, and they really won't come to town hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on board with that for a long time. I mean, way back. First year, I think I had that added in. And it's funny, it cracks me up now because I get emails once in a while that says, town of Hollowell is now taking electronic payments. Like, really? It took you this long? I mean, it's 2017, jeez.
But rapid renewal is just a steady slope, an upward slope of the curve of the numbers of people here that are using that. It goes up every year.
Now, can you pay taxes online here?
Yep. And these guys out here they're pretty good, especially Sharon. They're pretty good about telling people, you can renew online, right? And I've also, for communications, I started putting out slips to sign up for the newsletter, for the town newsletter, to get news and whatnot. So that has helped a lot too. We're starting to get a good bump. Probably almost 300 people finally. That took, again, years. We've had this available forever. We've told people about it, but there was 150 people for years. And then I made up these things and put those out there, and people are using them. So we've doubled already.
Oh, yeah.
We've got those at every window out there.
Very good.
So it's not for lack of trying, but there may be some
I know.
more tricks maybe we could try.
Maybe things like in the town report, when they put out the town report, like we have a page, an information page. That when we have our hours and whatever, that we remind people that they can do certain things electronically that they don't have to come in here to pay.
Well, what do you think about me taking I assume, maybe not all of it, but some of you have been to a selectmen's meeting or watched one where I do a report from me every meeting. And I can dress that up, put a few more adjectives and adverbs in it and make it more of an actual document with good English in it and actually release that as, town administrator's report and do that twice a month. I think I'm kind of derelict in my duty that I don't reach out in any form. We don't have DeAngelis would shoot me, but we don't have a real newspaper here that is, like a mini Portland Press Herald or a Journal Tribune. The reporter is the closest thing we have. We do news stories, whereas the Smart Shopper really doesn't. But to do that, it could be in a paper, but pop that on Facebook as well.
What about not only the document, but a video reading of it? So we could really, because people probably love to see your smiling
You
face.
see me drone on, These, you are sick.
Whatever we can do to get people to come on a regular basis. If you have a weekly report or, whatnot.
Well, we used to have a newsletter that Nancy put out because the selectmen, that was one of the mandates that she was supposed to do, and it was supposed to come out quarterly.
Yeah.
And I think that lasted 2 quarters, because
Yeah,
I've still got the originals.
I've seen a few of those, and they're way back.
But to do that, and every now and then you could do a video one and ham it up a little in a tasteful way, or keep it thematic with a holiday or something like that. No shortage of things you could do with that.
Yeah.
And I like doing that type of things because we don't have enough sense of community here where everybody wants to get more involved with all kinds of things because we are such a transient town, at least for now anyway.
A lot of people do use that as a tool, where they'll give you a certain amount of information, and then even TV shows you see it on, right? For more information or special clips or this or that, go see our website, right? So if we could start doing something like that at selectmen meetings, planning board meetings, to hear the behind the scenes talk when the mics are off, visit our website. No.
Take out John's coughing.
To hear John cough repeatedly for 25 minutes.
Just remember, this is being taped.
The microphones are running. Moving right along.
I can edit that out. No.
Anything else?
I think
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. So discussion over the items for committee's desires for the next steps. We're not going to need to speak to anybody else now, right?
Well, Jim and I were talking about that beforehand. If there's somebody else you want in here, let me know. Next week would be the obvious target. We've been through the whole budget, and unless you want a repeat visitor here, I don't know that there's anybody else to bring in. You look at the calendar up here, and here we are on February 2, and we're ahead of last year because you guys are veterans now, and the total preparation of the budget is a little ahead of where I was last year. So we've got a total figure now that is just under $700,000 over this fiscal year budget. Now, we can probably squeeze another 150, maybe $200,000 in extra revenue between the growth that we've had. We've had a number of new houses and considerable growth in terms of renovations. Dennis is always pushing me to put down more in terms of excise revenue, and that's why I say between 150 and 200. So the net effect on the expense side for the moment is about $500,000. So we've got some priority decisions to make here, and I think if you're ready tonight, that's fine, but if not, I think unless you want somebody else in here, that could start in earnest next week. And you could all take this document home and take your red pen to it and prioritize what you like and don't like. And I would like to be done in 2 weeks. The 16th is the end of that meeting. 23rd is still available. I won't be here. I'm going to be partially under the weather getting ready for some day surgery the next day. But certainly between Julie and Matt can come that night as well if need be. You folks can just meet yourselves.
I unfortunately can't make it next week.
Okay. You can make your thoughts
winter
known
concert.
to everybody by email.
Yep.
But is there
Okay.
anybody else you folks would like to have in here?
What about somebody from the old home days?
Say that again?
Old home days? You guys think we should talk to them?
You've got a sufficient carryover with that, and it stayed the same. I don't foresee that you'd really need them, but
I mean, you can do that if you want, but I think between Julie and I, we can answer the questions because we've
Okay.
been to, you know, what they do, and it's odd because they spend most of their money just before the end of the fiscal year. And right now, they've got over 14 left, I think.
yeah.
And they're gonna spend nearly all of that by June 30. And then this next 19,700 we have in here, they're not gonna spend much of that until spring of 2018.
Okay.
And I
There's,
wasn't,
there's $25,000 in the budget right now for them, still to be expended.
So we'll have to
Okay.
carry that forward. So there's the potential, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on, I should get a look at their new budget. If they're gonna spend $4,000 on the Motor Booty affair, we might want to get an updated budget from them. 'Cause they didn't have music costs like that in years past. That's not a bad idea. I can have that for next week.
Other than that, I don't think anybody else, I don't think we need to meet with anybody else. Do you? Do you feel anybody?
No.
So I think this is the only document you need to get out your red pen at home and
Yep.
make your own priorities, and we can come back and hit it hard a week from tonight.
Okay.
Or, I mean, it's only 7:30, if there's some things you want to address tonight.
Now, did you come up with that list of people, the health? You were supposed to give us a little,
It's in the red, he's put it in on your spreadsheets on each department.
I went in and put the number.
okay,
of-
okay, it
Yep.
says 4 FTEs, okay,
Yes.
So FTE is a full-time employee,
right,
and I put that under every health insurance line, wherever they are in the budget.
very good.
Oh, one.
And I've got a couple of things that, just I'd like to make sure that we don't let them fall through the cracks.
Yep,
Their first one is with Public Works.
what page you on?
I gotta find him. Because I was going through this earlier. 15,
What line?
425. You're either gonna change the mileage or that figure, if you're gonna have David use his truck, or we're gonna add a truck.
Oh, I don't intend to add a truck.
All right, so then increase double that, but for mileage,
Oh, from 4 to 8.
4 to 8. Because that's only for 20 hours a week.
Right, but,
If it goes, you've got to put your money articles in now, so we can't add it after the fact.
yeah. So, like, 8,000 if 40 hours a week. I guess that's what you're saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So that would be helpful if deciding on whether or not you recommend a Public Works Director to go full-time, if we could settle that next week. That's one of the more important ones. Because if that happens, that changes a whole lot of other things in Parks and Rec. That moves some staff hours and some monies out of there over into Public Works for digging holes and all those other things that Parks and Rec have been doing, but they shouldn't be doing that. They should be taking care of the fields, lining the fields and working with programs and taking people to the casino and other such things rather than doing as much actual field work and getting their hands dirty as they have been doing.
right.
And I think that's where we can really help be more efficient, is for Public Works to take some of those things over. Because in line 420 on that same page, remember, I put in a laborer for 30 hours a week for 6 months. That's a ton of time that we haven't had in the past, and that doesn't all have to be, nor would it be, just on Public Works things. Be it the transfer station, rebuilding a building or painting, it could be Parks and Rec things, mowing, weed whacking, moving dirt, whatever the case may be.
So what are our thoughts on making the Public Works Director full-time? Do you guys have any opinions on that?
What's that?
What are your thoughts on making the Public Works Director full-time? Have you thought about it, or need to stew on it?
I'm gonna stew on that.
Stew on it.
It's a big jump.
It is.
And you're also on the Public Works at 438. David should be reimbursed for phones.
Line 438?
Yes, sir. That's just your phone up there, and Tommy's being reimbursed for phone, so the head of it ought to be.
So we need to add 480 to that?
Yes.
Thank you.
So what would the total be?
Excuse me?
What would the total be?
$3,480.
Okay.
Then if you come back to page 9 for your telephones for your public Parks and Rec, they made the recommendation for 2 more phones. I don't know what your feeling is on that, Gary.
For 2 more?
One for Mike Christie and one for Todd.
Yeah,
Or,
I heard that as 2 total. You heard 2 more?
I heard 2 more. One's for the director, and one would be Todd or Lisa, the backup,
Yeah, well,
and then Mike.
we're gonna have some internal applications for the position, so I think, hopefully, before the budget gets settled, we will have hired a Parks and Rec director. I've got a Parks and Rec director, an assessor, and a librarian to hire.
Oh, my goodness. Some new faces.
That's right.
Now, is a librarian job, that being advertised yet?
No. We've got an ad hoc committee that's come together with one professional on it that works in the Portland Library, and another person has some library experience. They're getting together some qualifications, ideas, et cetera. My placeholder in here, on page 7, I think, actually 8, was $45,000. Top of page 8, line 191. And that committee met a couple nights ago, and they thought that the $45,000 was plenty for that position,
Okay.
even at 40 hours a week. Probably wouldn't be someone with a master's in library science, but
Right.
it would be
Right.
somebody with a degree in library science. That's the way I'd like to go. I mean, we have that discussion in here for the dollars, and then the selectmen will make that decision in town meeting. Seems there's no better time to do it than when somebody retires.
Yeah, I want to say the girl that used to work there, I forget her name, she was going for a library science degree. I don't know if-
Jillian,
Yes,
because her mother works there now.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
and is she going for that degree?
I'm not sure where she's working or where Jillian
Okay.
is. I haven't seen her for quite a while.
Right, yeah, me either.
It's Pauline's daughter.
Daughter,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I want to say that she didn't want to be a librarian. I remember we got chatty. Very nice girl.
You know, I think the easy things for you folks to prioritize first is to go into the CIP, the capital improvement plan, and look at the things that are in there. You know, this room for storage out beyond the code officer, it's a great idea. It's not my highest priority,
Right.
but I think over the next 5 years, as things get worse in those offices, we're gonna have to do something like that. And I certainly wouldn't put up a wooden frame room to put paperwork in. I just wouldn't do that, because right now, all our file cabinets are not insulated and not fire protected. A lot of people don't care about that. Oh, we don't need to do that. Well, then you have that fire and boy, you're in a real mess.
Yeah.
Am
Do
I
you have
right?
other things, Julie?
Yeah, in my notes, if you look at page 6, the last item, didn't that get moved down to 9,500, so that'd be 14,000? I looked at the meetings that we had prior. Am I wrong on
The
that?
digital parcel layer creation?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just got an updated estimate that's still unclear. So you can put a big question mark on line 158, because the town planner, Lee J. Feldman, is gonna talk with that fellow next week, I think, before this meeting. and really bore into, we thought we were paying for somebody to digitize all our parcels, which means you sit there with your little mouse and you go around the perimeter of all 4,500 parcels that we have. The last price I had was over 30 grand. So when this guy gave us this price, we said, are you doing the digitization or is a computer recognizing the parcels and then changing them? And we just need to find out that we're really getting a digital parcel layer. So that's why I did bump that up. What was it, 9,500?
Yes.
A week ago? Yeah. I purposely bumped that up to 12,500.
No, we reduced it down to 9,500. You had it 12,500.
Well, it's back.
Okay,
And it's still even more of a question mark, because if he isn't giving us a true digital parcel layer, then I don't think we want it. I think we need to spend the money to do it right, so that we can fix our GIS system. And a road on an ortho photo is the same on the parcel map, and they're not 60 to 100 feet apart when you open up the GIS. Other than that, folks, I don't have any other sermon tonight, because I think we've talked about most of this, and now it's time for discussion on your part and decision making.
Okay.
Just need Google Maps.
did you ever get the estimate from Owen?
For what?
On page 19, you said he was gonna be in at 9:30, 8:30 the next morning.
Page
Line 513.
513. Matt's working on that. Owens may be involved. Owens McCullers, our civil engineer from Sebago Technics. I don't know if he's working on that, but line 514. We've been up in the attic and we're talking to our civil
No,
engineer.
sorry, that's the line. I
Is
apologize.
that the one you meant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my arrow didn't go all the way.
We found that the ridge vent up on the top, up on the peak of the roof in the fire station is plugged with tar paper, so that the hot air could never go up into the ridge vent and go out. It's not a good thing. So we are going to rip that off this spring, cut the wood back a little more, and put a new ridge vent on there, probably. And if we need some more ventilation out of that, we may punch some other holes in a perfectly good roof and put some of those little things that look like mushrooms up there to let the hot air out. Problem is the heat is getting up through the insulation, and that's where we should really fix it. Have all of you been in the room, the training room where the bean suppers are and the Christmas party?
Yep.
Yes? You've
Yep.
been in there, don't you? Above that suspended ceiling is nothing but wire holding the suspended ceiling. There's no framing whatsoever above that room, which means you can't do doodly squat with it in terms of walking on it, going up there and blowing more insulation or any of that. So if you rip all that down, imagine this just completely gone. You could put in some engineered beams and put in a sheetrock ceiling and do it right. That's a lot of money. That's at least $50,000 probably, if not more. So this is a big question mark here. You notice why it says estimate in line 14, EST in parentheses. This is a guesstimate, if you will, maybe not even an estimate. Certainly not an estimate from a contractor yet, because we're still talking about how to do this, how to keep that heat down below and insulate more. Above the truck bays, it's easy to get up in there and blow in another foot of insulation. That'd be the cheapest thing that we could do. But in the other section, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
Yep, sorry.
You know, line 518, when are we gonna start replacing sidewalks? Doesn't have to be 50, but doggone. I mean, we ought to do those ones in South Waterboro, or start doing those in South Waterboro. Too narrow, they're all eaten up by roots, so they're just plain unsafe. If nothing else, we ought to dig them up and plant grass. Be safer than people doing out there, especially somebody who was, couldn't see well or was walking along and falling because it's uneven. They're awful. I don't know if you've walked on them, but they're pretty awful.
Yes.
Yeah, you have.
I live down there.
So you can make your own recommendations. I mean, if you want to give me some suggestions on what to do in terms of dollar reduction, and you don't want to do it, I'm happy to do that, or a percentage increase or whatever. I think you know the selectmen have not done that. I asked them for their thoughts on percentage increase or decrease, or dollar increase or decrease,
Yeah.
and once again, I didn't get that direction. So I think this present Board of Selectmen is going to operate as they have in the past. They'll come in and look at what collectively we come up with, and then they'll make their cuts and their decisions from there.
Okay.
I have two questions.
Yep.
One is the Public Works Director, when
Yep.
you asked about making it full-time.
Yep.
Last year when Doug was in here, he talked about if there was a Public Works Director, that they would be in charge of other departments, considerably Parks and Rec.
Right.
Would that be the situation if we made him full-time?
I wouldn't say that that person would be in charge of the Parks and Rec programs, but a lot of the
No, but they
work,
would actually be in charge of parks.
I would tend to agree with that, yes.
Okay.
That would be the way that I would go.
Recreation would be something totally separate.
I would be happy if everybody was comfortable saying, now we have a rec department, we don't have a Parks and Rec department.
Right.
I think that's a smart way to do it. Because they don't have equipment to dig holes. They can mow grass and cut grass, but everything else had to come from volunteer labor or somebody that they know with the Parks and Rec department, and there's always a scheduling problem, so put all that stuff over in Public Works. They can plan it out. They're better at it than anybody in the rec department. And, hire a director that really doesn't have to get his hands half as dirty as what Mike D was doing. I mean, Mike liked being active. He's a worker. He's out there on a weed whacker and picking up trash in Gobeil Park, several times a week and doing all those kinds of things. And, we're paying him a pretty good salary to do that stuff, and you don't need to do that.
Right.
You should be paying somebody else to do that sort of work and letting him do, other more administrative things that are more valuable, if you will. Not that that field work isn't valuable. It's just administratively inefficient to have, your director do that type of field work.
So then would that affect the salary of the Recs Department
I think
head?
so.
Because they would no longer be.
That's another one of the dominoes that would fall, is if we
Yeah, I
say-
mean, if there's all these ifs, ands, or.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you want your park director, let's call it a park director, I think you would want that full-time. But if you really make that switch like you suggested, then instead of having Lisa's job go from 20 to 25 hours, you might keep it at 20, or it might be able to go down. Now, she's not gonna like that at all. She wouldn't like to hear me say that right now because of the work she's been putting in the last few months here.
Right.
If she wasn't going for director, is that what you're saying?
I don't know who's gonna apply.
Okay.
To be honest with you, they both may not, that's up to them. There'll be others, there's just other people that, I've already got one application out of the blue from, I didn't even ask for it. She wants to come work here.
And I have another question, the assessing department,
Yes.
because we voted on the 3-day-a-week job through the end of this fiscal year, correct?
Yes.
But now we have an ad out for one that goes 32 to 40 hours. So how does that reconcile with the budget and what we do for next? I know we can vote on it for next year, but there's already an ad out to advertise for
Yeah, we
it.
have a few months there that we're gonna have to cover.
The money that you're not spending now on an assessor is there to
Make up for that.
pay up, for somebody that we hire. When you look at, the salary was $54,000, so.
But what I'm saying is, what if we vote to only make it, still keep it a 3-day-a-week job for an assessor?
Yeah, then we've got a real problem if I hire somebody for 4. Is that your point? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not good.
Because I would think, if anything, we would keep the assessor at 3 days a week and hire an assistant.
That's
That
more
would-
money. And the minute you go to that 4th day a week at the amount we were paying Bob Consul and his company, you've got a 5-day-a-week person in his salary that you're spending. So, to go to 4 days with him is the equivalent of what we're looking at right here. And I think for at least a year, if not two, we can use a 4-day-a-week person at least to get a lot of things done here that he's uncovered, that could use more work, more photographs, better database in terms of the raw data.
Would that be an employee or would that be a contractor?
My goal, and what the selectmen agreed with, and you folks can tell me too, my goal, and that's what I did, was to have it an employee. And that's the way the selectmen were indicating. I don't know that they actually took a vote, but it was clear that it was a unanimous consensus. I think that's the way we should go now. Jerry was here for 15 years, right, Julie?
Yes.
These folks have been here for two or two plus.
Because Bob was here before Jerry.
Right, Bob was here for 5, so it's been 20, close to 25 years, if not more, that we've had a contract person. I mean, they both can do the same thing
Right.
if they're trained, and so I don't think there's a
But
whole
are
lot
they
of
like
difference
just
there.
maintaining things, or are they improving things, I guess?
They're improving things.
Okay.
That's why they went from 2 to 3 days a week.
Right.
They saw a lot of the things that really hadn't been done and kept up with, that Jerry wasn't doing
Yeah, I'm
those
assuming
last
the
few
new
years.
assessor would want, a lot of improvements.
Yeah, I mean, we had 3 days a week, but that's only 3 man days. I mean, Alex was here Monday and Tuesday without his father, so that was 24 hours. And I'm suggesting that we go to at least 32 here. Now, if Alfred or Limerick want to share that 5th day, and they both expressed an interest, if not a desire to do that, then we could be fine with 4 days here, and that person could still have a 5-day-a-week income, if you will, with 1 day of the week. in
Is
another
there
town.
still an administrative assistant for them?
No.
Wasn't Tammy working 1 day a week?
Oh, she's still helping them, yes.
So would she
That's-
still be,
She'd still be doing that.
she'd still be doing that?
Nancy can take up some of the slack there too if they really get jammed, but I don't know. Do you have a feel for how many hours Tammy puts into that? Is it a couple hours a week maybe?
I don't have a clue, really. I know here at the end, she was working an awful lot with them, because they were doing some integrated stuff, because they were working also on Saturdays on their own.
But it can come in batches
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
get, gobs of deeds from the
Very
registry.
cyclical too.
Yeah.
There's certain times of the year that you would need more help,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, you know
Megan,
it
you
firsthand
might
on
know.
that one.
Are there a lot of retired people out there? Retired assessors
Oh, yeah,
that
everybody's retiring right now.
Yeah.
that would be
Yes.
looking for part-time work to do this?
Possibly.
I mean, this is
you've
how someone-
advertised what kind of,
I have 5.
applications,
I
right.
had 6 applications. I'm down to 5 now.
Right.
But 5 people, certified maid assessors, have applied here, and I'm very happy. I think, pretty confident we'll hire somebody out of those 5.
No, I'm saying as a part-time, if we went to 3 days a week
Oh,
and you had somebody to help that person that would work 1 day or 2 half
oh, I
days,
see.
Right.
that there's a lot of people, I mean, my father did it when he retired. He went to work for the town as a part-time. They had 3 or 4 part-time assessors that would come in and work 3 hours a day, 3 days a week, and do some of the work. And it doesn't cost you anything in benefits, because these people are retired. They're
Right.
collecting, and they have health insurance, so they're not looking for all these benefits. But they have expertise.
I haven't met all these people. I've started some phone interviews. I need to do the rest starting tomorrow and into early next week. And then hopefully make a decision, maybe not next week, but the week after. And one of the applicants works for 11 towns now. She wants to downsize. She wants to work for 1. Can't imagine more.
Yeah, really.
Couldn't imagine.
You wake up and say, what town am I working for today?
I've been doing it a long time.
Right.
Okay, that was, anybody else?
And I'll
Good
get that
suggestion.
certificate.
Huh?
That's a good suggestion. I like that.
Well, it's all different ways to try to save money
Yeah.
that there are people out there that,
I think continuity is important. If you get somebody that's part-time, they not only need to know the trade, but they need to have a good handle on what needs to be done in here. And I think Bob and Alex have done that. I think they have a pretty good shopping list of this is what the next assessor should work on. And I don't discount your idea. I just think that would be more
Once everything's
administrative
done.
help than the lead to come in and just 3 or 4 hours a week to be the lead assessor that morning or something to continue the work. Because some of these projects that are in here, by my limited knowledge of assessing, are considerable in scope in terms of understanding the database and exactly what you have to do and how, and make it all accurate. Some of the keystrokes that previous assessor was using really threw us into a loop. And ouch.
That, then we've had problems with Trio that caused us,
And some of those that we blamed on Trio were not Trio's fault.
No.
It wasn't the software fault, it was that right there.
Oh, okay.
And Trio, I didn't know this, but Trio captures every keystroke up there in Bangor.
yeah.
Does it?
And they went down and they just disassembled the whole thing of what was done when it was time to do your commitment. And a problem happened and it wasn't Trio's fault. It was that.
Only as good as the information you put in.
That's right.
But I think your suggestions are good, and they have merit.
Next week is what, 7 o'clock?
Yes.
That's right. Second Tuesday, EDC meets at 6 o'clock and we'll start here at 7. Any other homework for Julie or myself for this next week? Julie's got some other salary things from the survey you're pulling together, right?
I'm pulling that together.
Donna has
As I said, that's very time consuming, but at least you got the biggest one done, so
Was it faster to just print out the whole document again?
can't.
Oh, because it's
It
all
goes-
chapterized.
It goes this way instead of this way, and you can't bring it all in together. Like, just for one administrative department, it's 985 pages.
What's your point?
Goodness.
I'm a tightwad, and we don't need all to kill all those trees.
Wow.
But got a good start on it, so now I know how to at least do it, but
Okay, let's talk about, 7 o'clock next week. Anybody, Megan, you said you're not available, what, 16th?
Good night, next week.
Okay. Then why don't you throw your priorities to the whole group here by
Okay.
email?
Yep.
Anybody else have problems with 9, 16, or 23?
nope.
You guys have been great with Thursday nights. It's much appreciated. This is unusual.
Yeah,
Just keep
I
thinking
thank
I'm
you too,
dreaming
'cause I
that
can get
we're
somebody to
meeting
take care
every
of
week
kids.
with a budget committee.
Right.
Well,
That's it?
okay, I make a motion to adjourn?
I will second it.
All in favor?
adjourn that.